You got my phone, right? Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. I'm missing my partner, Gregg. He's not here today, so we ran into some business meeting that went too long. So, Gregg, we miss you and hope to see you on Thursday. So today is a good, beautiful day. It's nice out. The sun is shining. After yesterday was so dreary, I stayed home and I cleaned and I watched some TV. I watched a good movie. So
I caught up on Outlanders.
I got some rest. So we have
Good
two
view.
beautiful women here today that I'm very proud of, that I know actually for different reasons. And I want to introduce them. I have Barb Herd,
Hello, good morning.
and I have this unbelievable lady, Bonnie Green.
Thank you very much.
And of course, there's a story about how I met them, because there's always a story. And first of all, welcome.
Thank you.
Today, we always do the day, what it's all about. Today is National Be Heard Day,
Well, this
which
is
means,
perfect.
ladies, since we're ladies today, be heard. Talk about whatever to whoever, and if there's something you want to say it.
That's pretty funny that you picked that because my name on Facebook is Barb Herd and my email is to be heard.
Beautiful.
Now, that's karma. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well,
I like that.
Yeah. So there
So,
you go.
today's
okay.
your National Day.
I
And
guess
it's
so, I didn't know
also
it.
National Cereal Day.
Oh.
And I don't like cereal, but I am reading it now with yogurt because I watched this program and it says that if you eat cereal and yogurt together, it's good for your aging. So I am eating cereal now.
There you
But
go.
the funny part is I never did my whole life. So I'm eating Cheerios with any type of yogurt now. It's not bad, guys. Try it. And it's also National Flapjack Day. I don't know what that means. And
Pancakes.
oh.
Pancakes.
Oh,
Yeah.
so have a pancake for lunch.
That I would prefer than the cereal.
And National Crown Roast of Pork Day. I'm not making roast pork, but
Well,
if
that's
you're
funny.
one to
Mine's,
cook,
mine's right now in the slow cooker.
you're drink. See that?
See
And
that?
I didn't even know.
And see, that tells me a lot about you. You like cooking, and you do it easy now because you're in the third act.
Yes.
Yep. So that's our conversation of the morning. So be heard.
Yeah, there you go.
So I'm going to start with Barb. And I called you once the wrong name, so I'm sorry, but I will never do it again.
It's okay. It's okay.
You
Don't-
always have to do something wrong, and that's how you remember never to do it again.
It's kind of a joke, but we won't go into it right now.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Barb, you're doing so many things. How did we meet?
Well, I think we were in a networking meeting a while ago, but I don't think either one of us really recall that when you happened to be on one of my posts on Facebook.
Right.
And I was posting about my first husband passing away, many moons ago. And I wrote kind of a heartfelt post and wanted to put some tips and things in there to help other people who are going through a major loss. And I found that, well, I'll just give you a little background.
Yes.
You know, when I was 27, I was married. When I was 28, I was widowed.
Oh,
And,
my goodness.
Yeah, I was a newlywed. And it's pretty shocking. I came home from work, and my father and my sister were circling the block to try to prevent me from getting home to an empty house. And, I won't get into details about what happened after that. But it was a tough time. So I went over some things that I did, and I wanted to share that because I know that there are a lot of people who really don't know how to handle grief.
Absolutely.
And
Especially at such a young age.
yeah. Well, I've done it on both ends. My second husband passed away 7.5 years ago.
Oh.
So that was after a more lengthy marriage. So I've been young in a short marriage and older in a long marriage. And so I kind of been through, it in different ways. But I would say it was so shocking the first time. And some of the things that I did that I thought were helpful for me. Well, first of all, I have this book, and I brought it. Camera. It's called The Courage to Grieve. And it was really like my Bible, if you will, during
Courage
that
to
time
Grieve.
period. The Courage to Grieve, because basically a lot of people try to avoid it.
Yeah.
because it's so uncomfortable. And in our society, we try to get people to hurry it along because it's uncomfortable for us to be around other people who are grieving.
Yes.
And so this really talks about diving in and and letting yourself go through that. So in my case, I got therapy. I went to an individual therapist. I went for group therapy. I wrote in a journal. I cried a lot. I spoke to anybody who looked like they were willing to listen to me, go on and on about what happened, because I just felt like I needed to talk. That's just how I process things.
Yeah.
Not everybody does it that way. It was really helpful doing. So as a matter of fact, this morning I was out walking the dogs, and I had given a copy of this book, because this was written back in 1980.
Wow.
And I had an updated version of the book that I gave to a neighbor of mine whose son died. And yeah, that's really tough. And I just thought maybe it'd be helpful. And sure enough, as I'm walking the dogs, she stopped the car and got out and gave me a hug and said she really thanked me for that book, that it was really helpful to her. So anyway, that's, that was kind of where you picked up, I think, as you saw that post. And,
Yes.
some
I
of the
lost
things.
my husband.
Yeah,
And I have a lot of people that I deal with that come to me for counseling and coaching.
yeah.
And I reached out and we started to talk, and you're here.
Yeah, and here I am. Yeah. I remember when I went to group counseling, the therapist there saying, how careless of you to lose your husband. And she says, don't use lose. You didn't lose them. It was so funny to hear that she said, you're kind of taking it as if you did something wrong,
Right,
and
yeah.
you were careless about it.
So what would be the right terminology?
You know what? I don't remember what she said. That just stuck with me. But I guess, just so-and-so passed or died, as
Right. And
opposed
the
to
other
I
thing
lost them.
about that is I went to hospice, after. I didn't get a lot out of that because I didn't have a lot in common with the people that I was in the group for.
Oh, yeah.
And I was actually feeling bad because I didn't have those lifestyles that they had. Yeah, I was missing certain things, but not the same things.
Right.
But I graduated because they make you graduate,
Yeah.
But I did not go back to that. But I went back to just dealing with people one-on-one. And that was better for me. But everybody's different,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was 28. Well, by the time I went to the therapy, I was 29. And most
were
of
young.
everybody in the room was 60 and over.
Right,
And they had, 25, 30 years of marriage, and I had 15 months, and we're in a totally different place.
Yeah, that had to be
So
tough.
It was a little weird.
So then you met your second husband.
I met my second husband at Grumman.
Great
and
company.
remarried, and I have 2 great kids. Thankfully, was able
yeah.
to squeak them out before I got too old.
Well, that's great.
Yeah. So, So I think that I'm always open to talking to anyone who is struggling with grief, and
Which is a good thing you're doing because that gives you power.
you know.
It really gives you power to help other people. I know I feel that way. I know you do too.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I mean, the woman that I spoke to this morning, my neighbor, I'd really like to continue more conversation with her because she's really hurting.
I have a best friend who just lost her son.
I can't even
And
imagine.
yesterday was his birthday, and we didn't even talk yesterday because, and the anniversary of the first year is coming up in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to see if I can find out how to get this.
Yeah,
book.
yeah, Amazon has it.
Okay, I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, definitely.
But, so you lost your second husband to a horrible disease, or was it
Lung
shocking?
cancer. Lung cancer,
that's
yeah.
tough,
So that one was anticipated, and that was a longer, later in life kind of thing.
Okay. And since then, you're involved in some really great things. The one thing that I'm really excited about is this ISA, International Student Exchange.
Close. ISE.
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 Okay, I'm
USA.
thinking of the
USA.
ISA with the cops.
So it stands for International Student Exchange. They're an organization based right out of Bayshore.
It's right
is it?
here.
Yeah, yeah. And they're nationwide, and they've been here since 1982. I got affiliated with, actually, I worked with another agency years ago in student exchange, and then somebody I met through networking told me about ISE. So,
Let's talk about it.
yeah. So they bring in kids from all over the world, really. Brazil and Spain and Italy and Germany and, South Korea and all different places. And we're always looking for host families. So the kids come over here and their ages 14, well, pretty much 15 to 18. Sometimes you get a 14-year-old, but that's not the normal.
Right.
And they come over here to attend the high school in your district. So if you're a host family, you're a host parent, they would be going to the high school that you're in, your district.
Okay.
And they come here with their own spending money. They're insured. And we just ask our host parents to give them a bed. They can't sleep on an air mattress, and they can't sleep in the living room couch. They have to have their own bed. They can share a room with the same sex as long as it's not a little child. And yeah, so that's it. And feed them, obviously, give them some
So
food.
they, obviously that's like invading your home, and you don't know who's going to be showing up until they show, or you get to interview them and all that before they come.
Well, no, we don't look at it as invading your home.
No, but I'm not saying it. I'm saying it. For
Because you don't know
you
who's
don't
going to
know.
be
I
showing
mean,
up.
are you going to get somebody that's weird, or are you going to get someone that's normal, or are they mostly?
Is there an interview?
Yeah, so we do background checks on the host families, and the kids have an extensive background, and they have to be interviewed and
Okay,
cleared before
so
they
then
come.
it's just not
and
on
then
the
there's a whole
fly.
profile, and once we background check you, then we can share. Well, we can share a sketch of the profile with you before your background check. No pictures until you've been background checked, and no detailed information until we get to that point. But yeah, we can share that information. And the kids have to write a letter on why they're here. Nowadays,
Okay.
some of the kids are doing videos as well, which are kind of fun.
That's
So
kinda nice,
A couple of minutes
yeah.
of video, and you'll
Well, there
see
you go. You're
them
going to know what
getting
you're
a little
Yeah.
better feel.
Yeah.
And then they put down, their interest and what they like to do. And then, we kind of pull out kids that we think might be of interest for you. And then you're the one who makes the ultimate decision.
So you try to do a match that it would
Well, they
best
do the
work.
match, but we try to pick out kids with, similar interest, or you might say, I'm looking for a girl. My child is in junior in high school, so if you have a junior or a sophomore, and we do a lot of sorry, we do a lot of snow sports and outdoor activities. So we wouldn't be pulling a kid that says they like to, play guitar in their room and
Right,
read.
exactly.
That was so. We'll pick out kids that look like they have similar interests. And if you do end up with a student that isn't a good fit, we move them.
Okay.
We can move them.
That's really interesting. I always thought about it, when my daughter, you go through that weird stage when you don't know what to do because your daughter's leaving, and you and your husband are like, who are you, and now what do we do?
Empty
So I
nest.
thought about it, but everyone said to me, you're crazy. I thought about it once or twice when I was younger. And it was inviting, but then, of course, you think about those things, but you never really strike it and do it.
Yeah.
But you did.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I personally only had a student for the summer, but I haven't
Okay.
had one for the whole year. But I've been helping families with that. My neighbor across the street had a boy from Spain, and he came for the summer, and he was, really well received. They really clicked with him. He's now married. This was like 14, 15 years ago. He's now married. They went over to his wedding.
Wow.
His family has been over
Really?
here. They stay in touch with him all the time.
Wow, that is something.
So a lot of families actually stay connected to their kids years down the road.
Oh, that's nice,
Yeah,
yeah.
it is really nice.
Sounds really like something different.
Yeah, very
Now, what
different.
about if you have children at home? Do people do that too? They
Oh,
bring in
sure.
because it's good for the children, their
Yeah,
own children.
either way.
to
It could
kinda
be you
get
could
to
be
know them.
single, you could be a family, you could have young kids, older kids, no kids. So sometimes when somebody doesn't have any children of their own, they might want to and can take two kids. Because now you have them interacting with each other a bit as well.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't have two kids that speak the same language. And the
Wow.
reason for that is that we
Yeah.
don't want them over here, sitting. It's too easy for them to fall into their native language and not, they all speak English very well when they come over here, but we want them interacting with the family and the family with them. We don't want them going off together and
Okay,
kind
and-
of, like speaking in
very
their language.
interesting,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
So do you get a stipend when you take these kids in, or no? It's all on you, the expense, the food.
you mean the family? It's
like it-
volunteer.
Oh, you do it as a volunteer.
Yeah, so this is run as the Department of State runs this.
Okay.
And we follow the regulations of the Department of State,
Mm-hmm.
and it's public schools. So, we don't have money to pay for that. It doesn't come from anywhere. There are private schools that will pay, but public schools don't.
Okay.
So, families do it really for the experience.
Sure.
And it is a kind of cool experience. It's very unique.
I guess if you get someone from, like, let's say Italy, and you want your children to learn Italian,
Sure, you could do that
there
too.
you go. The
Yeah.
kids are learning Italian.
Right there.
Or Spain, or
Yeah.
Ireland,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Or you might have just one child, and maybe you feel like the child would kind of like to have a big brother, big sister.
Yes, yeah.
You
I think it's great.
yeah,
really,
it
what
is.
you
It's-
do.
it's
so how
fun.
do people get involved? What do they do? Is there a website?
Yes.
Do they
So
call you?
it's iseusa.org. ISE stands for International Student Exchange, and USA.org. And when you go on the site, you just scroll down a little bit, and it'll say, I think it says interested in hosting. And you don't have to know that you want to. You can still click that. You just put your basic information, and somebody will follow up and answer your
talk
questions
to you,
for you.
and they probably guide you. This is how it is, and all
Oh
that.
yeah, that's my role. When they're
yes.
connected.
So
to
that's
me.
your job.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
what I do.
And do you get people that after they talk to you, like, oh, I don't think so, or do most people, if they call you, they do it?
Usually, if they call, they do it.
Really? So
Yeah.
there's that hold once if they call you, they really want to do something.
Right. Or they're at least interested. They want to find out how it. I mean, every once in a while we get somebody who thinks they're going to get paid, and that's the main reason they're doing
Yeah,
it.
well,
and
that-
that's actually one of the reasons why I like that we don't get
Yes,
paid.
because-
you know that the family is doing it because they
Right.
want
Right.
to, versus, all
They
right,
have to.
fine, I'll take them if
Which
I get
is
paid.
the school of thought for volunteering.
Right.
You meet great people when you volunteer because they're there because they want to,
Right.
not because they have to.
Exactly.
And when a company, when people from a company volunteer, they're great people.
Right.
And
That's
so
right.
that's my whole philosophy of life.
Yeah, I agree.
That's basically what I believe in. you know.
Yeah.
And then you also do some other things. I see you've been on so many boards, and again, networking. You came in this morning and you said, "Oh, my friend said hi. She knows you through the Angels, through Patricia Balestras." Again, Patricia Balestras comes up no matter who's on this show, and she's the greatest lady in the world, and she's all about volunteering.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
So she's watching. I'm sure she'll be watching. She'll know that you brought her up, and
right.
it's nice because I always like talking about people that help everybody.
Sure,
She's one of those
absolutely.
champions. So now, what else are we doing these days, Barb?
So I'm also, a proponent for wellness lifestyles.
Wellness,
and,
yes. Does that mean the food? Does that mean the exercise? Does that mean everything? Food, exercise, mental? What does it mean?
I mean, I think that, anything that you can do in any of those areas is a step forward, right?
Yes.
So part of it is what you put on your body, what you put in your body, what you're putting out into the environment, what you're putting out into your home. There was a big study that was out called the lung study.
Yes.
And it was done over in Europe, about a 20-year study. They had about 6,000 people. And basically what they said is using standard household cleaners in the house even once a week was
Is
equivalent
dangerous?
to smoking a pack of cigarettes a day for 20 years.
Wow.
Well, there goes all those cleaners I have.
Yeah. So this was published in I think it was called the, Journal of Respiratory Care or something like Medicine and Respiratory Care, and it was all over actually a
Well,
lot
I'm
of
an
TV
asthmatic,
stations.
so I probably should take a bit closer
Yes,
look.
that's for sure. Do you use the essential oils?
I do. I'm not a huge person because I have cats and dogs,
Oh,
and so you have to be
okay.
careful of some
Yes.
of those.
Yeah.
They'll hurt the animals.
Yes.
Yeah. Mhm.
But actually, I did bring one for you that I'll give you
Oh,
afterwards.
that's very nice.
So
Well,
do
the
you
first
make your
thing-
own products, or do you?
No, I use a variety of sources.
She
you
has
know, I
like
have different
she's like
places.
the what do you call her? The preacher of all the good things that you should do.
I'm the preacher. I never got that title before. I
Well,
like to
you'll
be the
always see-
guide. How about the guide?
Well, I come up with the
Guide.
odd things.
Guide.
Yeah.
That's my personality.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you talk to people about all these products, don't you, here and there?
yeah, sure. Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's, I use the word preacher. 'cause-
Yeah.
Well, I better
You look
find out
like
about
you're-
them pretty quick.
Yeah, you look like you have a great information sources.
Yeah, I do. I do.
And that's a good thing.
And that really came from when my first husband died suddenly. I started doing a lot of reading in the wellness arena and preventative health care and heart health in particular. And I learned a lot. And I've been reading ever since. Now, I am not close to 29 anymore. So, I've been reading for quite a while. And I learned a lot. And I personally have had some heart stuff. I had atrial fibrillation.
Oh, that's tough,
I had
yeah.
2 ablations. I just
Ah.
had a Watchman put in
you
January.
had 2 ablations? Oh,
Yeah, I'm
jeez.
good. It was good. I
You
had
never know it.
it doesn't show.
It's like everything else.
Yeah. And then I had a Watchman, which is a device that you put in your heart so you don't have to stay on a blood thinner.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
It's
So-
actually placed in your heart?
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
It's placed in an area of
I
your
don't
heart.
know of these things.
Yeah. Well, I know it because I've been
'Cause
in
she
the
went through it.
trenches.
Exactly.
So that's
Right,
one
yeah.
thing I like to talk about
Yeah,
a lot
yeah,
is
so you
heart
can
health.
share that, yeah.
Yeah, and
Wow.
heart health and immune health and
Jeez.
respiratory health
Immune
and
health.
So do you do a lot of talks about these types of things?
not as much as I probably should.
You should, because
Yeah.
there's an income with that.
I guess there is.
Yeah,
I'm
there's-
just,
let me tell you, if you do
does
it,
anybody out there want to hire
if you
me?
become an expert at whatever your field is,
Try to go far.
I coach people on that. If you become the expert
Uh-huh.
on any field, then you do get paid for it eventually. The way to do it is write a book first. When you write a book, you become the expert, the word author. I've learned it the hard way, but I learned it because this is my second book.
Right.
My first book, I made big mistakes, but it came out nice. But I went to someone else to help me.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to do. You're not the expert of everything.
Right.
And that's how I learned how you get paid to speak at libraries, how you get paid to speak at groups, et cetera, et cetera. And that's like an extra little added bonus when you're in your, our age group and you need extra money.
Yeah.
And you can't go back to what you used to do. You can maybe because you're still doing a lot of different things. But if you're talking about going back to corporate America, guess what? Not happening.
Yeah.
So I teach people, do something different. Make it something special, something you love and really believe in. And that's where you get successful. And
Right.
that's what happens to me.
Right.
So,
And look at you now. You're heading up this show.
well, I love the show, and I'm always looking for great ladies like you. But I also see that you belong to a lot of things that I was involved in. So, first of all, Women on the Move, that's a tough one.
Why do you mean tough one?
Well, that was a tough group back then. Really highfalutin women on the move, And back then, I wasn't strong enough to be part of that, but I knew about it.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and then BNI, well, I don't even want to get into that because I think I know what that is. Is
Yeah.
that the diner breakfast things?
Well, that is where they often meet, but not always. A
Yeah.
restaurant,
Yeah, I
it's
did it.
it's a referral group, so it's
Yes.
Business
Like a restaurant
Referral
club?
International.
No, it's a business club.
It's a club for referrals.
Now, are you still involved or no?
Not right now, no.
Yeah, I wasn't thrilled with it. I'll be
Yeah,
honest with you.
yeah.
I didn't like the forcefulness of having to refer people so many times a week and all that.
I think it depends on whether you have a lot of people to
Which group,
refer and whether
right.
it's your kind of business lends itself well to
Right,
that.
but I did it for a year. I always stick when I sign up for something, I stick it out, and no problems. But I found that I'd rather deal with people that are just not so focused on getting those leads,
Right.
because then
Right.
it became a little bit of a contest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so
Like a job.
yeah, and then I know I've been to the Women's Prosperity Network maybe once, and of course SCWBEC.
Sweetback.
They're everywhere, and
Yeah.
I just saw that. I just got the email from them.
They
the other
actually
day.
have a meeting this Thursday. Now, any
Yes.
Sweetback people, this Thursday morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. I actually
Yeah, they're
don't remember the
early birds.
location
Yes,
because it's
I
the first
saw
time we're
it.
doing in person for a while.
Yeah, so you're very involved in a lot of the things that I know about
Yeah,
and do.
yeah.
And you like photography and swimming. You're a swimmer too.
I was on the swim team as a kid.
Oh my God, this woman, you're a riot. Reading and learning. So the only thing you haven't done is written a book.
Yeah. Everybody wants me to write a
When
book.
you're ready, you come to
Not doing
Valentina
enough.
Go
because
write a children's book.
we actually publish books
Yeah.
through Red Penguin. That's our
I know
sister.
Susan, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know Stephanie?
I'm Stephanie. I
Oh,
said
you
Susan.
know
Yeah, I know
Stephanie?
Stephanie.
Well,
Yes.
she's my mentor.
yeah,
This
yeah,
is why
yeah.
I'm doing all
Yeah,
this.
yep. I do know Stephanie.
Oh,
Sure.
wow. Well, she has her own show, too.
I know.
Oh,
Yeah,
see that?
see
Well,
that?
it's time for
It's
your
a
book.
small world.
It sure
Yes,
is.
and I did not know that until today.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you live in the beautiful area of Brightwaters, which, oh, it's gorgeous.
I do like it there.
The
yeah.
flowers
There's some
there
homes
in the
that are
summer.
just stunning.
Oh my goodness! They're building a home down by one of the lakes. It looks like it looks like there's two houses connected to each other, and yet it's apparently one house. It's,
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I was driving down. You can see the lights as you're going past on what is it, the main street as you're going through the different towns, right? And there's just one house that just stopped me dead. I was like, "That's gorgeous," and exactly it sounded like that. I don't know if that's what it was.
Yeah,
But
there's
it looked
a
like
lot
two
of-
houses, and the lights just reflecting on everything.
Yeah,
Just was
pretty.
really-
I have to look up
Yes.
the girl that I worked with that lived there. You might even know her. She's a
I
very
might.
pretty blonde lady.
I might.
But it was 30 years ago, so, but she lived there, and I bet she still does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So again, how do people call? How do they reach you? Or do you have a Facebook page?
Probably the easiest way is my email.
Okay.
And this throws people because I want to see how you guys spell it. If I say to be heard, how would you spell that?
Number two.
T-O-B-O.
Number two,
Okay,
B.
Oh, she's the number
Herd,
two.
Heard.
Okay, and how would you do it?
I guess I would do T-O-B-E. I don't know about the herd, though. I guess just regular.
Maybe
how you spell it.
I
H-E-R-D.
always have to tell people how to spell it. It's T-O,
Oh, it's
B for
C-O.
my first name.
Okay.
And then my last name, H-E-R-D. There's no A.
Oh,
Okay, and
At Gmail. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's interesting. But see, but that's why, you know, when you do things that are different, it's good for your business because someone's going to say, well, what the hell is that all about?
Yeah.
You know, another thing you might want to try someday is number two.
Well, so what I say to people is it's like sending me a memo. You're sending it to be heard,
right.
right? But you're right. People do number two. They put an E. They put an A.
And if you're making a logo, you'd want the two and other things.
Yeah, you're
I'm
right.
really good with the creative stuff.
All right. All right.
Yeah, if you ever need anything. But it's been a pleasure talking to you. But
Thank
we're going
you.
to talk more. But now we're going to come
That's
over
Bonnie's
to this
turn.
Bonnie, who I see
Dun,
every
dun,
now
dun,
and
dun.
then. But I met her. How many years ago was it?
Oh no.
20.
It's got
gotta be 20.
It has to be 20. Yeah.
So how did we meet?
we were in.
Unbelievable how
sounds
we met.
The way we were laughing. Winthrop Hospital. She was on the gurney next to me.
Oh. Okay. Should we know about that? I don't know. Okay.
I don't know that you were sure what was happening to you.
I didn't. No, I
Yeah,
didn't
right?
know.
And-
And I don't go to hospitals. I'm not a hospital person.
I don't like him. Yeah, I don't. You have to really convince me. I better.
Yeah, I go on a stretcher
No.
when I go to the
Yeah.
hospital.
So I was having problems with the multiple sclerosis at the time, and to the point where my doctor's office had said, I think you should go to the emergency room. As it turned out, I really was not having that bad of a time. So I left there that day, and I guess within a week or two, I talked with my doctor about disease-modifying drugs for multiple sclerosis. Because at that point I wasn't on anything. And then I went on what's called Tisabri. It's a chemo, which I would receive an infusion once a month. And I stayed on that for 8 years. I really couldn't tell you whether or not it,
Helped.
I don't know if it just stayed off symptoms or stopped. I don't think
You
I'll
really
ever
don't
know.
But you were doing pretty good back then, right?
I think I've never really had MS. I know people who it's just devastating.
We have a member who has it, and she does fabulous.
See,
you know.
yeah, and
But she had her tough times. Yeah.
I think as far as the MS, today I may, and I do today. I feel very good. I'm not having any symptoms today.
Great.
Later today, I don't know, and I don't know how tomorrow will be. And I think that's the unpredictability of multiple sclerosis for
Right.
the person who has it.
And also stress has a lot to do with it.
Oh, that's how.
Because
it's-
I saw my
believe
dear
that's where it
friend
started.
Patricia, the other Patricia. We have a lot of Patricias. I saw her go through a lot, and she couldn't even get out of the chair. However, now she is out of the chair.
Yeah.
But it has to do with her pool and her exercise and her getting rid of the stress. She moved to Florida and she loves it there. But again, you always seemed to be somewhere, and you had a great job with the town of Hempstead. And you,
I started out with the county executive, Tom Galata.
yeah, well, we all love Tom. And
How
his
could
son,
you
and
not
his
love
son
Tom
Frank,
Galata?
and his son, I mean, and his wife Betsy. I mean, I
Betsy,
know
yes,
them all.
she's very much into.
And she's
you
busy
know, the
now.
bird
Always.
sanctuaries.
Yeah.
Yes,
So you started out with Tom,
yes,
and then you moved into another role, what, about 10 years after Tom,
yes. I went over to the town of Hempstead
which
with
is a great place to work. I'm still trying to get back in.
I was with at that time the town clerk Mark Bonilla, and I was one of his assistants. And
Well, we all know about Mark.
Mark Bonilla, and it was I was put in as a supervisor of the passport acceptance. It's not, you don't get the passport there, but it's a passport acceptance center. So I ran that.
Which is really, that was a great job, wasn't it?
I'll
Did you
tell
like
you,
it?
well, in the beginning especially, I loved the fact that we were so busy. I mean, it was when everybody was told you have to get a passport.
Right.
And I had a book, it was this thick, of people's
And you met a lot of
returned
great
calls.
people. Yeah.
Very many, very nice
And
people.
you had a good job, you had benefits, and you did very well. You went to work every day.
They did.
Yeah.
Even with the MS, I went every day. And
How old
'cause
were you when MS started?
I was 48. It was very traumatizing time in my life, and I do believe that the stress can. I think even as a young girl, and now they're saying children, pediatric, even 1, 2 years old, would be diagnosed with multiple sclerosis.
Oh, wow.
So
That's
I
unbelievable,
think as a
really.
young girl, I had symptoms, and when I look back,
Yeah,
that
and then
were
you had all
things
that stress. So.
that I couldn't do anything to change.
Yeah.
It was just what was happening, and it was happening to my body. It was happening to my personality. Just everything about me was, it wasn't like I had a struggle. I mean, I was a happy kid, so I didn't kind
Well,
of.
you had some
One
things
of the
that
problems
happened,
my
yeah.
mother had with me is that I ignored it. I mean, I would not pay any attention to anything that wasn't positive.
Which was a good thing for you. That's why you.
I think that's how
you
I
came
got
through
to a
everything.
48 before I found out.
Right.
Up
So
until then.
now at the county, you were there how many years total?
I was
At
there
the town, I'm sorry.
at the county. I was there 8,
And the town.
and Mr. Galata had not ran again, so I went to the town, and I was there 9.
So you were there 17 years.
Yeah,
And you
short
left-
of short of getting my full pension.
Oh, you didn't. Oh, you didn't make it to the end.
I had to make a choice at that point. I wasn't able to get to work on time. I wasn't able
Right,
to
because of
stay
your
awake in the
illness.
middle of the day. I'd start to fall
Right.
asleep because there was, as much as I enjoyed it, there was stress in trying to get these
Sure,
things
yeah.
completed and trying to not
But you made
look
that
like I was
decision.
just kind of like rolling along.
You made that decision, right?
I made the decision. Yeah.
So it's not like you were treated any differently. You loved your job there. And
Well,
you made
in the end, when I needed what they say they should make available, which is how do they word it? Well, anyway, certain accommodations.
Accommodations,
all right,
yeah.
for people with any kind of disability.
Right.
Things had changed up pretty fast at the end of my time there at the
Right.
town, and they were not willing to allow me to have the accommodations I had prior.
Right. Right.
So it created
Little bit of a problem, but
enough of a problem that I gave up
and
a
you
good job.
decided you needed to worry about yourself.
Yeah, and I wanted to go home and take care of me. Yes, and
You did. And
yes, I did.
since that time, you've been busy doing all kinds of things.
Well, I do my own artwork. I get
Let's
to
talk
see my
about the
What kind of
Artwork.
artwork do you
Yeah.
do?
I just actually
You should have brought one. I posted it, but you should have brought it.
You should have told me. I would have
Well,
brought it.
I thought
Shoulda,
you would.
coulda, woulda.
Yeah, that's all right. But we'll be posting it. We
Okay.
posted it already on Facebook, and
Oh,
we'll
okay.
post it again. She has a beautiful picture. Describe it. It's like a little person.
Are you painting these?
Yeah, mostly it's acrylics that I use. I do life paintings. This one that she's describing right now is a family in a siesta out on a wide open plain where you can see that there's water and mountains in the background. So it's kind of serenity. I named it Lindo only because the little girl on the father's back reminded
Lindo?
me of my sister, who I used to call Lindo.
Oh, cute.
Yes, so
Well, it's a
she's
beautiful
passed away, so
painting.
I wrote it did it for
And
her.
then also, I saw that kind of thing on your Facebook with all the different colors. Looked like a rainbow, but
I do a lot of that, and on that, I cover those with resin, which gives it a high shine, and really perks up the colors.
It's nice for a living room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So there's quite a few of those I've done, and then and then there's the ones that you do, which are actually this is why I wanted to do the craftiteria. I want to teach people how to do it.
Right.
But you use different things like a balloon, a colander. You can use forks, and you manipulate the paint in a way that you're getting a different design that you would, like a balloon. If I take 4 different colors and place them on a canvas,
Yeah.
and now I take the balloon and I go,
Really?
it's gorgeous when
How
you
did
pick
you
it up.
learn all that?
Some of it was hit and miss, and some of it was on Facebook. Some of it was my own ideas.
Really?
And as you go on, you come up with new things.
Right.
I mean, I used a rag the other day, thinking I was just going to use it go like this,
And
but
got
it was porous enough that when I put the paint there and I laid it down and picked it up, it had little bubbles in it and I
Wow.
also use what's called paint pour, acrylic paint pour,
Wow.
which you add a chemical to it that will cause cells to open up.
So it was sort of like a.
Yeah, it does.
Something
It
like
go-
that.
it-
Wow.
it-
So do you
and they
sell
pop
these,
cells.
or is this more a hobby, or?
I haven't started to sell them. What I want to do is if I can get the MS attic, which is multiple sclerosis attic, like your mom's attic, because I'm asking people to make donations of things that they don't want, furniture, not the clothing so much, because I want to get things that I can redo myself and I can
right,
paint them
and then sell them,
resell
right.
them,
Oh, wow.
and set aside money for people, especially when they're first diagnosed. Their life, I mean, I remember when I was first diagnosed, it's like somebody runs you over
Yeah,
the
it's,
train.
it's a mental thing.
Oh,
really.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
I had an aunt. This is why it was so hard for me. I would imagine with everybody it's hard, but I had an aunt, and she was not related to me, but she had MS, and she went from walking with a cane to 2 canes to a wheelchair to bedridden, and she couldn't talk.
Yeah.
Oh.
She couldn't move.
Yeah.
It was her.
Oh
That,
my
so that
gosh.
was my visualization.
Well, because you
Yeah.
want to help other people in the beginning, and if they start these kinds of habits from when they're beginning, it's better for them.
I think back when she had it, there was nothing. They didn't
It's
have
different
any
now.
hope.
It's so out there. And then this new business is going to be called Crafteria.
Craftiteria.
Crafteria. I can't say it right.
Right.
Crafteria. And I think it's a great name.
It's for people to come in and learn different skills of how to do art pieces or just just entertainment. Like they have several places out there. Come in and learn how to do will teach you how to do Bob Ross
Things.
painting,
Right, exactly.
or whatever.
Bob Ross. He's on the channel all the time watching him.
I went to a Bob Ross class.
Did you?
Oh yeah, it was really
so
interesting.
then that's where your interest came too, from that, right?
Well, mostly I've been doing artwork. My family's Native American. They've always doing something, so I learned little.
So when you
But
say Native
the idea of
American-
mixing colors.
What is your family like? What's the history? What's the Native American? Is it
My father's Navajo, and
okay, so Indian?
Indian.
So here's an idea for you. Go to the Indian organization. You'd be surprised. They love helping people. Look on Long Island for the Indian organization. That's a fundraising. That's a chapter. Go and talk to them. Show them the video today. Be surprised how much help you're going to get.
I'd rather
That's
help
how it
them.
happens. No, but you said you need a place. You need a place.
Oh, yes, I do need a location.
Yes. So
There, I almost
did you
forgot.
ever think of going there and talking to them? They may supply you with a place. They've been around a long time.
No, I never wanted to go and impose. So I mean, and that sounds silly, kind of,
Well,
but
you,
I
you
wouldn't.
have to change that mindset.
I guess
When
I
you
would.
open a nonprofit, you have to ask,
Yeah.
and they would probably help you because of your background.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
That's
an
good.
idea
That's a
for
good
you.
idea. Yes, it is.
Okay, and they may be able to, in their organization, they may have someone
Somebody
that has
may
a
know
warehouse.
somebody who has a
They
location.
might have
Right.
a warehouse, and that's what you need—a little space.
Yes.
And that's how you start.
Yeah.
And from that, then there might be someone that has a building where you can have a class. Okay?
I just figured you would all in the same place because also I want to have art displays of those people with MS.
Yes,
who-
but it takes time.
Yeah.
Is what
Oh,
I'm saying.
of course. Anything I'm
And
going to
one
do
thing-
is.
look. If you think about how we did it here, we used to be in diners every month until I met this wonderful Gregg Cajuste. Okay, look at now we are in this beautiful place. We have our trainings here. We have a home. My car used to look like a garbage truck because we would open the trunk and take everything out of the trunk and go from diner to diner to help people with their businesses or with their job, getting a job. And if I didn't reach out and reach out for many, many years, I wouldn't be here right now. So it's, you'd be surprised the people that you meet when
From
you
a
join.
gurney to here.
Well, we met in the hospital. I was next to her in the hospital on a gurney. I was sick
She
as a
told
dog.
me about her working for the town. I remember, and
Yeah.
I went home
I
and
worked for
I kept
the
thinking, how
county,
can
not
I
the
help her
town.
get into the town? I'm like,
Yeah.
that's not so easy.
No, it isn't easy, but I
And
don't have any
I was
bad-
involved politically, and I, you know,
but then I did get into the county in the end, unfortunately, things change with, what happens in the environment. But do I have anything bad to say? No, I loved it there, and so thanks to some people in the town, in the county, I'm doing what I'm doing here, which is what I should have been doing in the county. So going forward now,
Yeah.
as you said, I really don't want to go back to the county. I want to be in the town. So I do a lot of great things with the town. I was just at the convention, the Republican convention. It just happened right down the block at the Garden City Hotel. Oh my God, I saw everybody.
yes.
And it was very exciting. And so, again, networking is the key to everything. What
It
you
is.
want to do now, you need cards. You should have been walking in here with cards.
I should have.
No, but I'm just saying, I help people with that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm doing it right now for two people. One was just here the other day, and one came to me, and I'm coaching her. It doesn't matter what's on the card. It's your seed. And anyone that tells you no, you don't need a card because of tech, you do need a card. Because wherever you go, face to face is the best way to meet people. So
Definitely.
again, I think what you're doing is great,
Thank you.
and you should also try to get some volunteers to help you, because that's where you grow with the volunteers.
You know that's hard for me.
Yes, but you have to be able to ask. I used to be that way too. I wanted to do it all myself. Guess what? It's not possible, especially for what you want to do.
I know. It sounds like, the MS Addict sounds like a small undertaking, but when you start to grow it in your mind, I did a business plan for it, and I never expected it to be
Be careful.
75 pages.
Can you give me that one little book? See this little book in Love and Friendship? I started with something like that, okay? This little girl back here, all right? Me and my best friend.
Okay.
For a little girl that was very sick. And we had 3 garage sales. Well, our backyards turned into junkyards. And this is the whole story, but how my friendship with my best friend grew because of this little girl, Nicole Caputo, who is still alive, who gets hyperbaric treatments every other week. But when she got sick, they weren't paid for by insurance. So this is the story. So this is what happened when I lost my big job in media. I met this child. And that's how all of this started. And from this, okay, which I spent a lot of money on, I have this, which is my book about what happened when I lost my job after I was in the county. Okay?
There you go.
So from one thing,
me
now
see the
this
front.
book cost me less than that book because I was dumb and I didn't ask for help.
Oh.
So that's why I'm trying to explain to you. You have to go to the expert
Yes, yes.
because if you don't, it's going to cost you money.
Yeah.
And that's, you know about that because you've been, look at how many
I
things
suppose
you've
if you
done.
go into the right people who understand what we're trying to do is help
Yes.
people. Because I put out information, I really had the feeling at times some of the questions I would be asked was, what is your purpose for doing this? Well, and I always felt like there were, are you trying to get this for free? Are you trying to do this for
You
yourself?
just tell the truth. The truth sets you
Which
free.
of course is what I did. But then you'd lose them. So it's not, I don't know that that's the way to go. I think I have to, like
You
you
have
said,
to have a passion.
network. Yeah, well,
And you have to network, and you have to you meet people that have the same passion as you.
Yeah.
See, for me, it was nice because I just started a club for people that were fired or laid off. Now, who does that? Not many people. And from that silly little club with 3 people, 13 years, 15 years later, we have the show.
well,
But
going to
again-
what you were talking about the grieving, I had 5 miscarriages. And I remember at the time, like you're talking about just an idea comes in,
Right.
people who lost their job. I started a group, Women for Women, at the East Meadow Library. And it was for women, for people who had had women issues that nobody would, they poo-pooed them away.
the
It wasn't
hard things to
important.
talk about.
But having had a miscarriage and having been in the hospital on my last miscarriage, and the janitor coming in, not meaning to do anything, it's, oh, what did you have? And I became hysterical immediately. And then saying to myself, somebody's got to do something. Somebody's got
Well,
to
that's
be
just
there,
it.
because there was nobody for me to contact, that I was grieving so
Yeah,
terribly.
but see, today, though, there are so many avenues.
Yep, yep.
Just with breast cancer alone. The college over here,
Yeah.
Adelphi, they have such a program. And I know that because my sister died of breast cancer. Again, passion.
Yeah.
We started a charity called Ria's Angels. That's my sister's charity. But we gave the money to research for years. And guess what? We're not anymore. We're giving the money to the person that has the cancer. Go to the movies.
That's what I would like.
Go to the store, buy your kids something, go see a play, enjoy your family. Because how much can you give to research?
Right.
And so, but you see, it's the people that do things that are different. They're the ones that people want to come to.
Right.
Because everyone's been given for years and years. And I'm sorry, but I get calls at least once every 3 months of another friend.
Well, I was asked
that
if I start
passed.
the MS Attic, am I going to give money to the Multiple Sclerosis Association? And I would say that right now I would not, because if I was going to give to research, I would target it in on. Right now, you know, the Moderna
Yes.
vaccine, I had that as my first vaccine, and for a month and a half, I had no MS symptoms at all.
I've heard about that.
And but when it comes back, you're like Rain Man, Rain Woman. It's like, oh no, it's back. You know, and I just, you know, and
Yeah.
it added more depression
And
because
depression's
I
a
had
serious
gotten
thing.
used to having it. So, but when I didn't have it for a month and a half, and now I have to have it again,
Yeah.
that was right. So
Yeah.
I got my booster was Moderna, and I did get a lump, and I just saw my doctor about it. Many people do get this, so but it went away. But by going and talking to the doctor about it, getting more information, like you're saying, do research and all, the Moderna, they're looking into it for, I'm not sure if they're using the word cure.
For MS?
Yeah, for multiple sclerosis and for,
Parkinson?
there was something else. It wasn't, I don't, probably, because they're all within that, you know.
Lupus,
Well, we have
maybe?
some people watching. We have Susan, we have Jenny, we have Francis Louise, we have Saba, we have Robert Joseph. I've been trying to reach you, Robert. Where the hell are you? Kathy Bertolino, Gloria Pagano, Rosa Carregua, Marsha Wallace. Barb is fascinating. You're getting some good talk. Jenny Fusco on Marine. Nicole Bloom is watching. Joe LaLuna. Hi, Joe. How you feeling? Maria Cantone. She's a doll. She's
Marie, she'll
Oh, Marie Cantone,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, exactly. You hit the nail on the head, Francis said. It's true. You have to really, you know, like put yourself out there and talk to the right people. And that you do just by networking, and networking is the key.
Well, I've started
So,
here.
Yeah, that's great. And to think that we were laying side by side in the hospital room, we laid side by side
We-
in
It
the
is
emergency
It is
room.
an unusual way to
And
meet
then
someone.
we got put in rooms next to one another, and
So
that's how we met.
she's kicking over the curtain because she wanted to keep talking.
Yeah, because I'm not one to be in a hospital, and
You're
I
also not one not to talk. I don't think.
no, I talk, because the talking is really what makes me to crave like what I need to know. So that's a really good talent if you're out there and you can. Not everybody can. Some people say it's a gift.
I can.
You know.
I'm not a shrinking violet.
Yeah, but I'm sure
I
you
talk
meet a
talk.
lot of people because of your personality.
Well, how do you know? I mean, I just meet a lot.
Because I read your whole bio. I see what you do. It's like, there's not everybody's not like this.
Well, I
Barb.
do talk to everybody, really.
Yeah.
I even tell the checkout lady when I'm having a fight with somebody.
But that's a good thing. You know, it
Much
really
to
is.
my children's chagrin.
Yeah,
That's
well, you know, your
being
kids.
me is most difficult when my children are around. They're like,
Oh,
Ma,
yeah.
Ma.
Well, I have that too.
yeah.
But see, now my daughter moved to Maryland, which I miss my grandchildren and my daughter.
Ooh, that's gotta be
But
tough. Yeah.
you know what? She's not following me everywhere anymore. When my husband died, she was following my Facebook and following this and following. And so we both became more independent. And so do I miss them? Yes, but I see them a lot. And my grandchildren are also not laughing as much at grandma. because they see things and like, oh wow, grandma, you know. So everything in.
I mean, there's
You're
something
not just
actually
a
nice
grandma.
about. I mean, not. I don't know if nice is the right word. There's some advantages to not living close because then when you visit,
Oh, it's such a treat.
It's like a special thing, you know.
Right, and
As
I'm a guest now.
Yeah, yeah.
Where
right.
I used to be, cooking,
Just
cleaning.
there.
Yeah.
You were there.
And I moved too from a house into a co-op, which I adore. And that's the best thing as a widow. I know you like your home, and I liked my home, but I found it to be too much.
Yeah.
And the finances too.
Yeah,
Living
yeah.
on Long Island is not cheap.
Not
Oh.
cheap. No.
Now you say you live in a very nice area. You know,
Well, I live in East Meadow.
yeah, but what did you tell me it was?
It's called Mitchell Homes now. It used to be part of Mitchell Manor, which was part of Mitchell Force Base, which is actually, I'm living now where I lived the first time in my life. My father
so
was
you're
Air
back
Force
living there where you lived when you were a kid.
when I was an infant.
Wow.
From the
Isn't
day
it
I was
something
born.
how everything comes back full circle.
Full circle. Yep. And actually, it's nice, but for me, I want to move on to either get a house with my son or get a co-op or something, because these are all transitory. These are all people going either from being, they're recruiters now,
Right. So
and they're
all
going to go to
over.
another base. And even my son, who's in the Army, he's been at 3 different bases. They move them around. So
Yeah.
you
Well,
know.
recruiters in all kinds of industries. Interesting. When my daughter married her husband, they came to check us out because he was in the FBI. So before the wedding, they came and rang the doorbell, and
Wow.
they had to look into us and the way we lived and all that.
Wow.
And I played a joke on my son-in-law at that time because I was a jokester. And so, they called me later and said, how'd it go? I go, well, didn't really go that well. They didn't like, that they looked me up and they found out that I stole when I was 18 and I got caught.
Oh.
Well, he was so embarrassed. It was all a joke. I made it up. And it was like a big joke. And he was like, oh, no. But again. But the person that interviewed me, that's a nice job to go out and recruit, for like what you said, the Army, or recruit for FBI when people need to be interviewed. It was a lovely man. And I said, gee, tell me about your job. I'm like, maybe I want to do that.
I was a recruiter.
You were?
Yeah. I worked in the city, and I worked for a couple ad agencies and employment agencies. So I
Which is
did some
great.
recruiting then.
Okay.
But I actually preferred training. I segued into the training area and loved training. I think I should have probably been a teacher, and I missed my calling.
I do too. Yeah.
You know,
I
maybe
w- I-
maybe I'll get another chance in the next life. I
In the
don't
next
know.
one.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm doing a teaching, career kind of teaching thing at Floral Park Memorial next month, which I'm thrilled about because I went there. So, it does come back to you in different ways. However, I tell kids all the time, get your degree. Get your degree, because when you have a corporate career and you move all the way up the ladder, it's great. But I did it without a degree. When you lose that big job, you cannot go back to it because you don't have a degree. Yes, I could get one now. There's no question.
Yeah.
But at this stage, I'm not interested.
No.
So it's called the hard experience that you have that gets you through the rest of your acts. So
Right.
you're in your third act, right?
I am.
And how do you feel? Other than the MS, I know you feel pretty good anyway. You look
Yeah.
good.
I feel good.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to bring up about MS, because I mentioned it before, is how people perceive people with MS because they don't look like they're ill. So
Right.
I'd like to tell any of the families or anybody that's listening that if you know somebody who has MS and they look good, go light on them. If they say they can't make it or they're not sure,
There's a reason.
they really don't know. And
Yes.
it's very unpredictable. And for me, I don't like to use the word scary, but there's times where I've got something like my son's wedding. And for weeks before, he just was married 2 years ago. And before Danny's wedding, I was every day like, just stay healthy, make sure you take a walk, drink a lot of water. I was like ridiculously trying to make sure that that day would come and it would be
And you'd be
wonderful.
okay.
Well, I just have to tell you, I danced from the time I got into the
Wow,
reception. I
that's
never
wonderful.
for the entire. I never sat down to eat. I mean, only the time where they stop, where that's the only time I didn't dance. So that for me was amazing. My son danced with me. His friends that I knew from school, all the high school friends, all danced with me.
That's power of
So-
the mind too. but also you kept yourself healthy and you kept yourself, hydrated, and you did all
But
the
you
things
do
you
the
needed
best
to
you
do.
can, but again, with MS, it's a brain
Yes.
issue, and we never
And-
know if a part of your brain gets zapped.
And also, you have to focus a lot.
What
It's
are
hard
the
to
main
focus.
symptoms that you feel when you're having a bad day?
I'll get pain. I'll get nerve pain, and my days usually become not just a bad day, but usually a series of bad days. I become very fatigued,
Yeah.
and I call it comatose fatigue because it's
Patty
not
had
something
that,
you can
my
say.
friend
I
Patty.
feel like I think I'll lay down for a minute. I'm tired. No, this is. I better lay down.
Marie
Or
Pantone is
I'm not
saying
gonna-
the invisible illness.
It is. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they.
Yes.
There's more than MS. There's many people out
Oh,
there.
yeah,
who
there's so
have,
many.
Look good.
Lupus.
Look good.
Lupus is another one. You
Yeah.
don't know you have it until, they give you so many tests.
Right, right.
And
MS is hard to. I was lucky. Within 3 weeks, I went to Nassau County Medical Center. Met Dr. Delfiner there. Wonderful neurologist.
even fibromyalgia. I mean,
Yeah.
Again,
I
that's
have it,
another difficult
but
one.
again, no one would believe I have it.
No.
I mean, I'm full of energy, but I'm not always full of energy. There are
That's the
days
thing
that
I
I'm
miss
not.
the most is my energy. I
Yeah.
was never home. I was always out. I was always
But
doing.
The key is keep your dance card full. I'm
Keep your
sorry.
what?
Keep
Your
your dance card full.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying to dance. That's my way of saying.
Yeah, yes.
Keep your
Stay
dance
busy.
card full. You could always cancel. You could always bow out of something. Keep it full. That's what I do. And
Well,
some days
for-
I drop. I mean,
I think the canceling part is what becomes like almost like a guilt rail
No,
for
it shouldn't
people
be.
with. Well, when you have friends and family that come back at, you could make it if you really tried.
no.
I
Well,
have a
those are
son,
the toxic people you have to get rid of in your life.
No, I'm not getting rid of my son.
No. Well, that's different. Your son will always going to be that to you.
But he's saying to me, I'm the mom that was always running around. This is my son who went and I did flea markets. I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning, home at 7,
Okay.
in the city, constantly going.
All right. Well,
Now all of a sudden, mom says, I don't know, I don't think I can do it today.
yeah.
And he calls and goes,
that's a
Mom,
son and
it's
a
up to
daughter.
you. I know people who have MS,
Yeah.
and they don't have
But they're
that.
supposed to be doing that to you because they're your troopers.
It's supposed
Your
to be.
children are your troopers.
And my son is my trooper in every other way, believe me. But this one thing, it's more him.
Okay.
Maybe
It's
he
him.
needs to
He
know
doesn't
that
wanna
there's-
accept it.
There's different
Yeah.
degrees, really.
Yes,
of MS,
exactly.
and
Right.
that and that you need him to understand.
Yes.
That you have this kind of thing is kind of how yours manifests itself, and that you need him to support you.
Yeah.
Because you're not doing it on purpose.
Right.
But you may need.
And that's
to,
how you feel. You feel
Yeah.
like,
Right, but
like
that's
you're
also
they think you're doing it on purpose.
You have to get
You have to
strong.
have that
It's
conversation
not
with
easy.
them.
Trust me, I know. People thought I was full of crap when I had to.
Oh,
I
I've
couldn't
just-
move. Okay, and I mean, I hate to say it, but someone very close to me wasn't very nice, and I had to have people come to my house to get me moving. But guess what? It happens. You have to take that will and do the best you can.
Yeah.
And when you can't, you can't, and that's it. You take a breather. And that's life. So today we also have, tonight, I have Key Fitz, he's calling in. He's going to be performing comedy here tonight. We have comedy on Monday night.
Nice.
Oh, good.
And so it's tonight, I think it's about 7 o'clock.
Will
But,
that be live also?
Yeah, it's live on the stage.
Okay.
See, we do a lot of different things here.
Oh,
A lot of different things. And we rent this out for parties, events, anything.
Very nice.
So on that
good to know.
note,
Good to know.
how do people reach you? Or like, what's your Facebook jingle?
Right now, it's just the Facebook. I have to get
Well, what is the Facebook?
Bonnie Green.
Bonnie Green. That's easy to remember. When
With
I think
an E
of
on the
Bonnie
end
Green,
or regular green?
Just regular.
Regular
so
green,
are you
like the
wearing,
Like the color.
Are you going to be wearing green for St. Patty's Day? Are you Irish?
I am.
Ah,
I'm
there you
half
go.
Irish and the other half
So
Native American.
next time you see this, we're going to have this set decorated in St. Patty's
St.
Day.
Patty's.
I went to do it today, but I didn't get up in time. And Susan Pinky, you're watching. We're worried about you. Get to that doctor and feel better soon because we need you here. We had to have coffee from a crappy place today because I didn't get up in time. So thank you, Susan. We love you. And everybody on the show gets Italian bread.
Oh.
The reason is that we break bread with everyone that comes on the
Oh,
show.
that's nice.
Because that's our mantra here.
Very nice.
Everybody helps everybody. The Breakfast Club is so many different people that we help through business, through performing, through arts, through everything. So here's your bread.
Excellent.
Thank
And
you.
you're all going to go home with some styling gel from Queen Helene.
All right.
And it's great. It'll pop your hair up a little bit and get rid of the frizzies. And I use it all the time.
Frizzies.
And you see how See how my hair is full? It's from Queen
There
Helene.
you go. Thank
And
you.
I can't thank you both enough.
Thank you.
Oh, we
for
got
having-
Ray Luisi, Mr. Shub. You want to see something great?
Yes.
Go to the bagel store on Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. You have your bagel and you watch a band.
What bagel store?
What
has a
bagel
band?
store? What's the bagel store
The
again?
bagel store, Mr.
Mr.
Shub.
Shub, what's the bagel store? I forgot. Where is it?
Yeah.
Ray?
Bagel store with a band. I've never heard of that.
Oh, he's got a great little band.
It's just little things like that make your day.
Where's
it's
the
nice.
bagel store? We spent 3 hours there. We never left, believe it or not. It's in Merrick, but I will get you the information. He's not answering me right now, but
Okay.
he is watching. So, Ray, where's the bagel store?
All right. He'll type
Address.
it in.
Address.
Yes, it's a great place, and we spent 3 hours there. You eat your bagel, you got live music, you get another bagel,
You
or
could
you,
dance.
You have another bagel.
and you have cake, and you talk
You have
to your
breakfast
neighbors.
and lunch there.
And the people so friendly. So, here we go. Long Island Bagel Cafe in Belmore.
Belmore.
And
Oh,
if you
Belmore.
go
I know exactly
on
where it is.
Sunday, tell Ray the Breakfast Club sent you. And he has a little thing called the Breakfast Club. We're the Long Island Breakfast Club.
Okay.
So we're all communicating together, helping everybody.
That's right.
Can I mention one more thing?
Sure.
That I'd like to have this subject brought up one day. It's parental alienation of their children and keeping their children away from one parent or another. They're destroying our future generation, parents out there that are going to the family court. The judges really are not taking a look at these are families. And honestly, I believe the families should not even be in family court. There should be a family center where they're treated decently. They're treated like they did something wrong from the minute they walk in.
Well, it sounds like you need to talk to your congressman, which you know all of them. So go to it, girl.
Oh, I have.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, I would like, there should be more discussion, and women have to understand that the parental alienation is hurting their children.
Yeah, of course. Of
Men
course.
understand it because they're usually the ones that are alienated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I want to thank you both.
And
It
thank
was
you,
great
yes.
talking.
Thank you.
Really great.
Thank you.
Share the show. Tell all your friends about the show. Tell
Okay.
them to call me if they would like to sponsor a show.
Sure.
And don't forget Long Island Bagel Cafe in Belmore. Go see Shub. You will love the performance. We're probably going to go
This
back.
is only on Sunday?
Sunday morning. He's there from 10:30, 11.
Okay.
And get your seat right away because it gets crowded.
It's
And-
crowded without the band.
Yeah, no, but let me tell you, it's so much fun.
Yes,
And the
everybody-
music is so good. And he's sending me kisses. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Shub. We love you, and you're doing a great job. And on that note, that's